They'll see the standard. They'll see everything about you. They will say all sorts. So when they say these things, don't get distracted. Because what they want to do is actually they want to get you distracted. When you tell them, let's face the issues, they will bring around distractions to you. When you tell them, let's face the issues, let's talk about this, they'll bring distractions. When you ask them important questions, they'll bring distractions. They'll say all sorts. But for you, it's for you not to be weary in well-doing. And keep on doing what you're doing. So it might take a while, but the truth is out there. I mean, look at the back and forth now we're saying about refineries. When I spoke the truth then, it was a gang up. We even had people arrange protesters to come protest. but we finally discovered that the protesters were, similarly paid to do so. But today, the same people that said, oh, the refinery is good, the complaint is this. It is the same institution that is saying that there's problems, we need to investigate what went on. So, some will be vindicated, some you might not be, but it should be on record you said your bit. That's just it. So it should be on record that you said your bit. And the first thing they'll do, they'll attack you. Attack your credentials. They'll say all sorts of things. But you've been standing on the truth for over 20 years of your life. You know the records are there. You are an analyst on a local BBC station. BBC Bristol, the evidences are there. You're the head of that platform, the local BBC in England. You have co-founded radio stations like this. And people that have never been able to do anything in their lives will tell you all sorts. So what do you do? You look on. I mean, the whole world knows when we started. I was the first voice of VOP. And we co-founded it. And I'm a co-founder. And we've run it effectively and become a voice of truth and conscience. And I have a lot of joy when people say, Rufai, VOP is doing a great job. We're not perfect, but we can do a whole lot better. Then we're also bring behind the other verticals in the VOP family. There's also VOP TV Online that is doing quite well. Also the brain behind it. So when you look at all of this, you hear all sorts of distraction from people. And you wonder what is going on. But you know. And see, for you, it might not be on a national scale you face this persecution. It might be in your company. It might be in your love for Christ. It might be your Christian work and your Christian journey. Whatever it is, all I just want to tell you is that you guys stand firm. You have to be firm because they will come at you. As long as you have a thought process to bring sanity to society, they will come at you. People will say all sorts. They'll fight you. They'll never believe. There'll be many sides. There's a side of the truth and there's a side of hate. There's a side of the truth, there's a side of lies. When you say the economy of the country is not getting better, they'll take it personal. But it's not getting better. I was in DC. I was in DC and I saw things for myself when the projections came out. I was in the panel session in DC where they say,
when they
oh,
say, "Oh,
journalists don't
journalists don't
ask
ask
questions. But
questions,"
the
but
truth
the
has
truth
to be
has to be
said.
said.
They were
They
saying
were
the
saying the
Trump
Trump
tariffs were not
tariffs
going
were
to
not going to
affect us. What
affect us.
about
What
the
about
two
the two
trillion of
trillion of
agricultural tariff
agricultural
that
tariff
man
that man
complained
complained
about?
about?
So
So
if you have
if
a
you have a
contrary
contrary
view,
view,
they
they
attack you.
attack you.
But the
But the
truth
truth
is,
is,
it is
it is
God in
God in
heaven that
heaven that
daily
daily
loads you
loads
with
you with
benefit
benefit
when you
when you
stand for the
stand for the
truth.
truth,
And
and
some
some
things
things
you will
you will
always
always
stand.
stand.
When we
When
say
we say
insecurity is not
insecurity is not
improving,
improving,
look at what
look at what
happened
happened
yesterday.
yesterday.
And I
And
just
I
want to
just want to
celebrate our
celebrate our
valiant
valiant
soldiers
soldiers
and say
and
my
say my
condolences to
condolences
those
to
that
those
lost
that
the
lost the
soldiers that
soldiers
lost
that
their
lost their
life.
life.
In
In
Yobe,
Yobe,
attacks by
attacks by
terrorists on the
terrorists on the
barracks of
barracks of
soldiers.
soldiers.
Another
Another
sad one.
sad one.
It's a
It's a
sad
sad
one for
one
our
for our
country.
country.
A very
Very
sad
sad
one.
one.
But our
But our
soldiers are
soldiers are
fighting day
fighting day
and
and
night.
night.
So when
So
we
when
say
we see
President
President
Tinubu,
Tinubu,
people
people
are
are
dying in the
dying in the
country.
country.
We just
We just
lost
lost
soldiers.
soldiers.
What are you
What are you
doing
doing
about
about
it?
it?
The
The
next thing they
next thing they
attack you
attack you
and
and
say,
say,
no, you
"No,
don't
you
have
don't
to
have to
say that.
say
But
that." But
is it
is
not
it
the
not the
truth?
truth?
When
When
people not
people not
dying?
dying,
When
when
we
we
came out
came
to
out to
say
say
that it
that
was
it was
blending they
blending
were
they were
doing in
doing,
the refinery, that they didn't have a catalytic converter to crack naphtha and all of that and turn it into petrol directly, that they had to blend. At first, they said we're not correct, but they came out to admit it. And we said, oh, things are not as well with the refinery. They said, no, it's all lies. And guess what happened? They used journalists to also go justify that things were working then. But why we also know, because we had insiders in there that was telling us it's contrary to what was being reported. So if we choose not to be used, if we choose to see facts, and some other journalists choose to see otherwise, we'll keep choosing to see the facts we see. Am I perfect? No. But all we've just decided to do is to stand for something. It's the same journalists that were flown to the venue to report that everything was working. But months down the line, what you spend over 1.4 billion on, what you spend over 800 million on, what you spend about like $4-5 billion on, it's not still working. But we can see the other refinery in Lagos, the Dangote refinery, churning out products by the day, can reduce prices. And when we said it that they were still importing, they said, oh, we're lying. In the end, is what justifies the means. In the end, is what justifies the means. In fact, I remember how somebody fought me when I said the administration is not doing well. And you see, what they fail to realize is I want this government, if this government succeeds, I'll be very happy. Because it will lift a lot of burden off us. You get? So if this government succeeds, I'm very happy. Remember how somebody fought me when I say this government has failed, the economy is tanking. Today, the same person is saying that today. But he called me names the other day. And when I retorted, the first thing they also tell you is you're rude. So people will insult you and say all sorts to you. And when you respond, they'll be the first to tell you you're rude. And when you go around and give a fair balance, they'll say, oh, it's not hard enough because it doesn't favor them. But in all of this, what do you do? The Bible says, for the goal that was set up above, Christ endured the cross. So it's a cross we carry. It's not an easy one. We carry for society to be a lot better. But for the goal that is set up above of a greater country, that God promised me that I'm doing my own little bit. And that's why I have the Oseni Center, library, albeit in my village. God sees me if I have the funds. I would like to build that center in as much areas of the country. But guess what? Since I don't have the funds, we're also partnering with the likes of Icon of Hope to do a lot of things in prisons and some parts of the north. We're also helping as much as possible with every part of the country. Supporting co-charity. Somebody yesterday sent me a message that, oh, he's passionate about having a pediatric cancer center. I'm like, okay, go ahead. I'll publicize it. Also using our platform for a lot of good, helping people. I will keep doing that. So we need to stand in the vanguard of the truth. And, you know, I've been seeing a lot of this message about free VDM. The questions we should ask is, why will somebody go to the bank with his mother because of charges, and they would put him in a corner against his rights, detain him, then get EFCC to come arrest him? Until dates, we've not heard anything, any message. And that's the question. And that's the question I'm asking EFCC today. What is going on? Because I've also spoken for EFCC and they appreciate my work. They appreciate my work. Even to the high echelons of EFCC, I've said, Rufai, thank you so much for what people like you do. They appreciate my work. But we just want to ask those questions. And the EFCC should be able to give us. We can't have a country where things just happen like that and we can't ask questions and answer questions. So we'd like them to tell us more. What is going on? And please, you can't hold a man against his rights. The Constitution says, charge him to court. 24 hours. So, truth is, we want them to be able to respond to this. We want to hear from them. Because you see, any perceived high handedness, any part of the world, is a threat to injustice everywhere. That's just it. Any perceived high handedness anywhere in the world is a threat to justice everywhere. And that's why we'd like to hear from the EFCC. What is going on? We'd like to hear from them. The truth has to be said. The journey to redeeming a country of purpose is not an easy journey. The journey to making our country a whole lot better is a hard one for those that decide to stand on the path of the truth. It's not an easy one. But we need to keep speaking up. And trust me, I'm not saying we'll be perfect all the time. Where we are not perfect, we'll make amends in the face of higher evidence and information. But the truth is, we need to ask questions. We need to ask questions. And if we don't ask those questions, we don't go anywhere. I'll take a couple of calls this Sunday morning. We are still reaching out to people that want to do a lot in business, you know. And okay, let us do that this next week. 0818 099 1991. 0818 099 1991. The numbers to call us up. And we are still reaching out to a lot of people that want to do business. Okay, let's also take one or two of them that have business needs. 0818 099 1991. The phone lines to call us up this morning. Don't forget 17th. By grace of God, we should be able to have our debates. It will be broadcasted live across our channels here. And we'll take it on. 0818 099 1991. That's the phone line to call us up. 0818 099 1991. We're expecting to get your calls. Yeah, you said call the number again. 0818 1-800-99-1991. So we're expecting to take your calls today, and we'll talk about these things. And we also, give out a chance for people that are in business that want to get a lot done in their lives, and we'll see how we can empower people. Because if we also empower people, then we can do a whole lot better for them. Because empowerment is key. So we'll be waiting on your calls. And from those in the diaspora, I think you can call that number. Okay, got calls in already. Hello, how are you? Hello? Oh, hello? Morning, what's your name?
Yeah, I'm Wisdom, calling from Lagos. Yes.
Yeah, Wisdom, go ahead. Talk to me.
Sir, I have a Toyota Camry that I use, but I want to sell it so that I can go into Uber.
Hello, Wisdom? We lost that. If you want to sell your Toyota Camry, I think go ahead. I don't know, but that's your decision. I'm not here to help you sell cars. I'm just here for looking at people also that have business needs because it's about platforming. And I've seen people get on and get ahead with their business uh, as regards platforming and all of that. Hello, how are you?
Hello?
Yeah, bless you. Hello, hello. Oh, we lost that. I think something's wrong with the phone lines. Right, 0818-099-1991. 0818-099-1991. 0818-099-1991. So call us up on the phone lines. And then we have a replay of the famous interview I had this week with the governor of Abia. I played in 10 o'clock hour, so you can listen to that again. Hello, how are you? Hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello, how are you? Hello. Hello. 0818-099-1991. 0818-099-1991. 0818-099-1991. I think the phone lines are having a problem. Hello, how are you?
Hello, good morning. My name is Sam.
Morning. Where are you calling from, Sam? I think there's something wrong with the phone lines today. A lot of calls are coming in, but we've not been able to be successful with any one of them. 0818-099-1991. 0818-099-1991. So, hello? Yep. What's your name?
Yeah,
Where are you calling from?
guys,
Okay, go ahead.
I'm into nutrition and health conditioning work.
Okay.
I repair and fix air conditioning, both domestic and industrial.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm calling. If I have any opportunity that
Okay. Your number, what's your number? Yeah.
21
Yeah.
61
Yeah.
75
Yeah.
99.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello, my brother. Good
Good
morning.
to have you. How are you?
Banjem on the line, please.
Man, Jam, how's it going? Thank you so much for all the work you do with us in Abuja.
That was the journey.
Stressful. I'm still very stressed. It's no joke. It's very busy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a question to ask when you are busy.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Lord bless you, my brother, with your
Yeah.
job done. With the Lord continue to empower you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah, thank you for the homily of today. You have given the quest of enlightenment and the progress into place.
Yeah.
Yeah, next week Sunday we'll be going to Dubai prison that is in Guabalada.
Okay.
We want to share Bible and some trust to the image.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
That you will be speaking to appeal to the general public, especially your friends and family and partners on the economy. Because there is an information that got across to me that there are some inmates there that are under the option of fine. The inmates which I was told is 2 to 10 of their body was sentenced for 2 years imprisonment with an option of fine of 40,000 naira. There were 4 of them like that. And there was one again that is like
Okay, so because of 40,000 naira, he's been in prison for how many years?
2 years, 2 years.
2 years. Wow. So can we see if we can raise the money to release him out of the prison? Call your account number. Also send me a details so I can post on my Facebook. All right.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
So because you have 4 of them like that, this farm center, let's just explain. It is farm center because it's 2 farm center. They are just they kind of be attended to work
Yeah.
for farming and others. So they have majority of them are social or fine that some of them stole chicken, some used. There was one that stole like a cabbage. So many of them just want to see how we can reach out to pay their fine and by the grace of God.
Okay. So what we're trying to do is I do a lot of work with Icon of Hope Foundation with the prisons in Abuja. So we have people that if we can get their fines, they will get released from prison. So can you call the account number and also send me the details so I can post it up there and write a little thing about so I can post it apart from. Let's see if we can get them out of prison. So call the account number. You never know who's listening here.
Okay, 00
Yeah.
34
Yeah.
21
Yeah.
53
Yeah.
5
What bank is it? Unity Bank, right? Okay, so just send me the details. The people that we want to get released from prison with the option of fine. Send it to me via, WhatsApp or text that I'll amplify. Thank you. Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, sir. Good morning, sir.
Morning, yeah.
My name is Rufai. I'm calling from Asana.
Okay, great to have you from us.
Hello.
I'm with you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm calling from Asana.
Yeah. Okay. A lot of calls coming in. Hello, how are you? Hello.
Hello, am I beyond the digital point?
Yes. Who is this? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Bakari Adekunle from Ikorodu.
Go ahead. Talk to me.
I always like the way you speak. You always speak to the truth.
Talk the praise. I don't take any glory for that. I give God all the glory.
I used to watch you on Arise TV, and I like when you speak.
God be praised for that. God takes all the glory, not me.
I always watch you speak. I look to follow you later.
God be praised. Thank you. I appreciate you. Hello, how are you?
Good morning, sir.
Morning. How's it going? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I am Israel calling from Ogun State.
Okay, go ahead. Talk to us.
I've been to electrical installations and
Okay. Okay. So you need support for your business? Call your number out on the air.
081
Yeah?
30
Yeah?
38
Yeah?
57
Yeah?
18
Okay. Okay. Good. Thank you so much. Hello, how are you? What?
My connection not so good.
Your connection not too good? Hello?
Hello, Mr. Rufai.
Yeah, what's your name?
Okay.
Can you speak up? I can't hear you very well. Can you speak up?
Endurance, I'm calling you for either of the Jacob Lagos.
Ejegu, okay, go ahead, Endurance.
I know this. I have a school. And secondly, I also run a cooperative. And I'm a conference now by production.
You have a
I
school, you run a cooperative.
can hear you.
You say you have a school and you run a cooperative, right?
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, I already have a property in school, but I'm not, but I need a solution.
Okay. Okay. So you want support, right? You want partners in your business, right?
Yes, yes.
Hope it's verifiable. Or hope you're not going to trick anybody. Hope you're not going to trick anybody. Hope it's verifiable.
And it's something that you can come over to, if you have anybody to check on the honest facts, then I can,
Okay.
it's not about the price whatsoever.
Okay. So give out your number. You might be able to get partners.
Zero zero
Yeah.
74
Yes.
530.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Hello, how are you?
Good morning.
Morning. Bless you. What's your name? Where are you calling? Where? Oseni, okay. What's your name? Ahmad Boke Jacob. Okay, go ahead.
I came to Lagos and I find this opportunity to learn your voice already for the first time.
Oh, that's good.
So I want to ask you, are you doing another online program like this in another station or you are only on this station?
Yes, so I do this on VOP and across all my channels. So I do this on VOP radio, Sunday mornings like
Okay.
this. Then maybe once in a while, but maybe as time goes on, we'll syndicate on many other stations around Lagos. We just want to populate the radio in Lagos with a lot of goodwill and good energy. That's just all we want to do.
Okay, and another teacher. I don't know. Maybe if I can find someone to help me. But I left my state just last week. I've graduated since 2019. So it is hard to get job and I'm trying to learn cyber security. But I don't I find it difficult to learn the word necessarily. So I don't know if I can learn
Cybersecurity.
someone can help me.
Go Google Alt School. In fact, I'm trying to do a partnership with them now. Google Alt School, Alt ALT School. There's this very friend of mine. He's got a powerful story too. Promoted him a lot over 10 years ago when I was on the radio, and he's doing this alt school where people can learn tech skills. I've done a lot of partnership with him in the past. Yeah, ALT School. So Google it and see what's up there, and probably maybe if the partnership comes around, we can see how we can look for scholarships. For many other people too that want to do it.
Okay,
Yeah. So there's something called alt school. Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
So I mean, these are some of the things we do, and especially when you've had longevity, when you've done this business for over 20 years, there are many people that go through you, and you've seen how they've grown and done well. I mean, one of them is the current commissioner of transports in Enugu State, Obiozo, and that's why I went to see him the other day. Obiozo passed through my show. We had given him an exclusive of my show when he was running Cover 360 then, and he's gone ahead to be commissioner of transport, in Enugu State. Adewale Yusuf is another one. Started Tech Point, gave him a lot of support. Gave him a lot of EGBs then on my show. Powerful story. Adewale's story is very powerful. Today he's doing old school, but Adewale's then, when he came to Lagos, had to sleep under the bridge. to be able to get by. But today he's built one of the biggest technology news website across Africa. It's done well, and I'm still partnering with him. And there's still a lot that is being done. So it's as much as partnering with businesses and doing well. And maybe one of these, even as they have the interview from the archives, we can even play it back one of these days. To hear Obi also back in the days, then telling his story. That's close like 10 years ago, and we've helped impact a lot of people, and that's the impact that we put on the air. I've not just had the time. There's a segment I used to do to impact lives for the daily when I was on radio. I'm also thinking of probably bringing it back across the media platforms, but there's so much. I'm traveling, chasing interviews with makers of policies across countries and all of that. And there's another series I did. That's what I was up there doing in Washington. I've done two already. Remains one. Probably when it finally breaks, we should be able to share it across board. You should be able to see it. But those will be the candidates of the African Development Bank. I've interviewed Sam Mambo of Zambia for the presidency of the African Development Bank. I've interviewed Sam Mambo from Zambia. I've also interviewed Twazi Shabalala, the South African candidates. Remains among the hot. So these are powerful insights and great insights that we're bringing across. But hello, how are you?
Good morning, sir.
Bless you. What's your name?
My name is sir.
Huh? Gift, where are you calling from?
Yes, I'm calling from Ikotu.
Go ahead, Gift. What is going on with you?
First way Ikotu.
Yes. What is wrong with you? Go ahead.
I'm the one that called 3 Sundays ago.
Okay.
So you said that somebody was testing. So and somebody called me that he had sent my card number.
Okay.
So I sent my card number. I don't hear from the person.
Hopefully, maybe they don't have the resource yet, but somebody will do something for you. Let's call your number out again. Your number is 070. What's your number? Call your number out again.
070
Yes. Yeah.
10
Yeah.
5031.
Okay. You never know. Somebody's listening and somebody will.
I'm the one that wants to do that restaurant.
Yeah. Probably somebody's listening and they'll act on it. You never know. It's going to be well.
What did you say? 200,000.
It is going to be well. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please, once you call people and you want to do something for them, just go ahead and do it and empower them as much as you can. Hello, how are you?
Good morning.
Great to have you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Happiness. I'm calling from Masaba, Delta State.
Good to have you. Saba people. How are you?
I'm fine. Sorry, I just needed some.
Huh?
Yeah. I don't know. I needed some capital to start a business. I had
So, what kind of business do you want to start?
this soft drinks, mineral.
You want to start a business. So, are you? Would you want to give people equity in the business based on what they give you, or you want to pay them back? You want debts? Which one do you want?
For now, I can't even assure for giving back for now. I just needed something to start up with to see how it grows so then I could get other equipment.
Okay, so what's the capital involved?
I'm looking at least 2 to 3 million.
3 million naira. Okay, go ahead. Put your number out there. You never know. Anybody might be interested.
Okay, it's my account number is 81.
No. Put your own phone number. Let them talk to you first.
My phone number is 081
Yeah.
08101 577
Okay. Thank you. You never know. Anybody might be listening. Might be interested. Hello, how are you? Bless you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is John. I'm calling you from.
Well, right, John, they're hitting something there. Quack, 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 quack. Hello.
My
Yeah.
name is John. I'm calling you from.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm a regular listener of this your program.
Thank you.
And I've listened to the way you have been reaching out to people that are in it. The restaurant business, I can speak to you. Too much of bills. I cannot be able to afford this. So, continue with it. business. So I'm still managing for the business. And I have to fund the business in the way to that helps.
So you need investors in your restaurant business in Mafuluku.
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead. Call your number out. You never know.
Huh?
Call your number out. You never know.
Okay, sir. My number is 091
Yeah,
32
yeah,
63
yeah,
43
yeah.
8185.
Okay, good stuff. Hello.
Hello, good morning, sir.
What's your name? Where you calling from?
I'm Wisdom calling from Lagos, sir.
Lagos is a very big place. Oh.
Okay, okay. Around the country area.
You got to go ahead.
Sir, please, I want to go into Uber business. I have a Toyota that I want to sell, but I need help. So maybe need like three
And
people that
wisdom, I can't help you sell your car. Sell your car by yourself now. Go to your
sir,
business.
what I mean is that I will sell the car and I need help so that I'm able to add money to it to get the car to start the Uber business. Sir. That's why I'm calling, sir. I need support, sir. I will send it
Okay, so go ahead. Call your number out. Yeah,
69
yeah,
double four
yeah,
83
yeah,
56.
yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's going to be well. Somebody sent a message. Bless you for your work. Community Issues NGO, Umuhi Shaw Trust Foundation, which is I need to execute guidance to execute the secondary school WIAC hall. We want to build on our 10th year anniversary, December 29th. Here's my phone number. Well, I'm sorry, I'm swamped. I don't have time. I'm also running uh, health outreach center I built. I'm also running a library I built. So I'm swamped. But in terms of that, what you need to do, let me just give the advice generally. You need to do a race. You could do a launching, you could do a fundraiser and everything. You could do a charity fundraiser and get, to people and all of that. Uh, if you get it, yes. If you don't get it, keep trying. I had to take all my resources I'd saved over the years to be able to build the health care center, the health outreach center, and the library I did in the village. So it's just about you reaching out as much as possible, and I pray God will help you. Hello, how are you?
Yeah, good morning, my favorite journalist.
Morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from, sir?
My name is Bruno, calling from Sherry.
Good to have you. Go ahead. Talk to me.
Yeah, this is my first time calling in your show. I love your show so much.
Thank you. Bless you.
Right. So, Rufai Oseni, I know that all the things that have been happening in Nigeria, you have been following up and you have been giving us a lot of updates. We really appreciate it. God will continue to guide and protect you in Jesus' name. Rufai Oseni, I have a company that I'm registered company and we do um, catering services. We do catering services and we need customers. I am the owner of the business. I'm not doing everything for not capable to, for parties, for events generally. So that's why I'm calling on your show. I've been trying to call all this while, but it's not been connecting.
You run a catering business. You need gigs.
Yes,
Call out your
I have
number.
my
Call out your
my
number. You
company
never
is
know who
called
might be listening.
International Resources Limited. So we are into catering services, event planning and all that for
Call out your number. Call out
parties,
your number right away.
birthdays, event generally.
Call out your number.
Okay, 081
Yeah.
666
Yeah.
81
Yeah. Thank you. Good. Bless you.
9908.
Thank you. All right. Hello, how are you? Great to have you. Morning, what's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Lucky. I'm calling from Solo.
Yeah.
And since when I finished my secondary school, I wrote jam and I got the 170, but it's fun to ground with the school with the problem. I try. I work, it's still as a young can see it's not even enough to sponsor it for this school. Like this, I don't. like, well, maybe anywhere can just.
What's someone to sponsor you? What school do you want to go to?
I want to go to Kashere, Gombe State.
Where in Kogi State?
In I've forgotten the name. Around Gombe State, around the Kashere.
So you've forgotten the name of the school you want to go to in Gombe State?
It's Kashere, sir. Kashere. They call it school.
Tashere, what?
Kashere. Yes, sir.
Okay, go and think of the name of the school properly and get your facts right before you call back. Hmm?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So that's about all we've got here. We'll play back the interview right about now. So it's about over an hour long. So it's a full or redacted version of the interview. Thank you guys so much. As you go this week, I pray God will bless you, make his face and favor shine over you, and then give you peace on every side. It is well with you. In Jesus' name. Amen. Welcome to another interview session with Governor Alex Oti of Abia. He leads a state called God's Own State. And it's a state of a lot of enterprise when you look at the antecedents of Aba, a sprawling town from its colonial days and a heart and a hub for business in the Southeast region. The big question is, how is Governor Oti going to bring his banking experience to revolutionize this state? The state needs employment, the state needs the basic health and other infrastructure that makes a state worthy of admiration. He's got a lean budget at the same time, so it's a tall order. We'll talk about this. We'll also talk about other issues. The opposition, yes, they're screaming foul all the time he takes a step. We'll see how he meanders through these very turbulent waters of opposition and governing the states. This and many more you can expect in this interview with Governor Alex Oti. Your Excellency, pleasure to have you on the show.
Nice to have you in Abia. Welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much.
Welcome from Washington. Was it Washington?
Washington, D.C.
Oh, wow.
Thank you so much.
I was watching you on the screen.
Thank you so much.
Tried to wave, you didn't respond.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
Welcome.
Your Excellency, you got here by the grace of God and your campaign, but most importantly, a very important woman, that great professor at INEC that decided not to compromise. You want to say something about that great woman and state her name extensively, because we live in a country where we don't celebrate heroes.
Yes. Thank you very much. And I want to start by welcoming you once again to Abia. Thank you for the first question, because you're very right. A lot of times we don't celebrate people. And I've had time to actually say good things about her. I didn't know her from Adam. Never met her. And when she was selected for that role, that was just like 48, 72 hours before the election. So I was a bit scared because when she was appointed Vice Chancellor of Federal University of Technology, Owerri, I tried to reach out to her because she bears the same surname. She's Oti, Professor Nemnaya Oti. So, and I guess that was 2021. So I got her number, tried to call her, she didn't respond. I sent a text message congratulating her, she didn't also respond. So I just said, okay. I left her. And 2 years later, she was now going to be the returning officer. But then, most importantly, I left everything in the hands of God. And then the election came. If you recall, I've been in this process since 2015. And a particular local government was always used to falsify the results of the election. And that's Obingwa. Again, in 2019, it happened. So 2023, the election, it was clear that I was going to win the election again. And as the results kept trickling in from the different local governments. The tally was increasing. I mean, the difference was increasing. And what they did at that time was just to wait. So at some point when they thought enough local governments had come in, they falsified the results, moved it to 80,000 from there to 90,000. It ended at 108,000. But then this woman rejected those falsified results and said she was going to stick to the results that came from the polling units. And the rest now is history. So we cannot tell the story of the changes that have happened in Abia State, the new Abia, as we call it, without a reference to Professor Nenayoti. We thank God for her, and we know that this was just God's arrangement, because for her to come into the equation, and in fact, the other day that she was giving her daughter in marriage that I attended in Ebonyi State. She, by the way, she is from Ebonyi State. So she was telling me that this was the first time that she was going for an election, that she never participated in elections. So I strongly believe that the hand of God was in the whole process. It was God that brought her. So my tribute to her. Thank you.
And tribute to courage. But those in the opposition still say a lot of things about you. Let me tell you some of the things they say. They say you awarded the most expensive contract in Nigeria, 5-kilometer Port Harcourt Road, Aba, for 32 billion to Julius Berger, chaired by your friend. These are kind of the things they say in the opposition about you. Also hear one of it. They say you abandoned the new government house, that nothing was wrong with it, and we are right here in your village. They also talked about the fact that, you were trying to take glory for the geometric power company, when that, contrary to your public boast, that Aba is not even enjoying 24/7 power supply and the residents. And they also went ahead, to say that you abandoned the multi-specialist hospital that was done by your predecessor. So these are some of the things they say about you. I mean, what do you say to all of these things?
Well, the opposition will find something to say. Even if God was to come down to govern the state, the opposition will have something to say. So I think they are busy looking for things to say. All the issues you've mentioned are non-issues to Abia people. Geometric, of course, I told the story of geometric. And I encountered geometric in my banking days when Professor Barton Naji came to me, a bit frustrated. And this was several years ago. I was executive director in First Bank. I believe that was 2009, 2010. Yeah. Just before I left First Bank. And I packaged a facility to help him rescue the geometric project, because the bank, coincidentally, that was funding the project at that time, stopped because of the global economic crisis. And that bank was Diamond Bank, where I had to go 1 year after. And I packaged, if I recall, about $80 million facility. Got the approval, but he couldn't draw because the bank at that time felt that the person that understood the project was leaving, and that was me. And as I left, he came back to me in Diamond Bank. And we sat down and provided all the facilities that he required to complete the project. In fact, we completed the project before I left the bank in 2014. That's one problem after another. I believe that the way God wanted it kept it from taking off until I became the
licensing issues. Because I also got a chance to, speak to Professor Bartonaji,
Licensing issues,
and court cases.
The island, the Aba Island, that was ceded to him by the former president, Obasanjo, now had to be retendered, and somebody else paid for it. So they ended up in court. At some point, I actually brought my former chairman in the bank, Bio Furniture, Igwe Abogidi, Alfred Nemekachebe, to mediate. But it didn't work until I came in 2023. And between 2023 and 2024, I believe January 2024, we were able to solve all the problems, and Geometric started.
So you claim glory for the Geometric project?
Far from it.
Okay.
I can't claim glory for Geometric. A lot of things went into it, but I contributed my little quota to make it happen. And Professor Barton Naji and the management of Geometric are grateful, provided the enabling environment. I understood the issues. Maybe my predecessor didn't have that kind of understanding that I had, and I don't blame him for that, because I had a relationship with the entire business 10 years before. So, and that experience helped in solving the problem. Talking about whether it's working or it's not working, I don't work for Geometric, but I know that I have Geometric here. And a lot of times, 22 hours out of 24 hours, I have public power from Geometric.
So this is Geometric powering this place?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, but then they are dealing with a few issues. One is the substations. And I think there are about 7 or 9 of them. It costs a lot of money to rehabilitate the substations. And those substations have been left to decay over a very long period of time. Now, with the kind of power coming from the 3 or 4 turbines, I think 3 turbines and Geometric, if you put them into those substations, what you see is a blowout. So they have to rehabilitate them, and it costs a lot of money. I think at the last count, they have rehabilitated about 5 of them. And anywhere they rehabilitated the substations, they put power in there, and you have power. In fact, the interesting thing, since we are talking about Geometric, is that they have capacity. They have 3 turbines that have capacity to produce 141 megawatts of power. There's provision for a 4th turbine, which I helped them locate in Ghana, and I think they are discussing now how to get. It's a brand new turbine in Ghana. Somebody called me and said, "Oh, we have this turbine. We know Geometric may need it. We don't have access to them. Can you please put us in touch with the MD of Geometric? We want to sell it because we don't need it. We have never used it." So, and my commissioner for power and public utilities used to work for General Electric. And so I got in touch with him, because some of these things, you know where they are. And he made all the inquiries, and we got in touch with Professor Barton, and he was excited, so that by the time they finished the discussion, the 4th turbine will be here. And that will increase their capacity to 188 megawatts. Now, a full capacity in between the 9 local governments of the Aba ring-fenced island, we have estimated, and that's Geometric now, that the total consumption will not be more than 100 megawatts. Okay, so we will have some 80 to 88 megawatts, which ordinarily should go to the national grid. But what are we doing? We've engaged with Enugu Disco through Emeka Ofohu, the owner of Interstate Electric, and we are almost at the point. We've signed an MOU at the point of buying the Umuahia ring fence out of Geometric, out of EEDC. What do we intend to do? We intend to wheel the 80 to 88 megawatts excess capacity from Geometric into Umuahia. So in the next 1 or 2 years, we can say that we have constant public supply.
Okay.
Power supply in Abia.
What about the Julius Berger contract, that I talked about, that they said you gave to your friend?
It's a joke. Julius Berger is my friend.
Yeah, they said you gave it to your friend.
These are
some of the things the opposition,
okay, so let me
will always say, and we
so
just...
you know what will happen?
Yeah.
I would like you to go to Port Harcourt Road after this interview. Talk to people. That road had been abandoned for over 30 years. Nobody could fix it. except Julius Berger. And everybody knows. So if you go to Aba and make this allegation, you probably not come back.
I'm a journalist. I just ask the questions.
No. So what it is that it's not 5.8 kilometers. It's a dual carriageway. It is something else, and I would like you to just go there. So the allegation of the so-called opposition, because they couldn't fix it. So somebody has come to fix it. And every other person is very happy. And Julius Berger is handing over the project to me next week. And
How much did the project cost?
it has gone beyond the 30 billion.
So how much is it now?
Somewhere about 36.5 billion now. Yeah, that's what it is.
And it's good use of money.
Absolutely. It's one of the most important parts of the Southeast, not just Aba. Okay, so virtually everything is made on Port Harcourt Road. It's a very long stretch of road.
Okay.
I would like you to see.
No, I saw part of it while we were, coming here.
No, you've not gone to Aba.
No, I've not gone to Aba.
Port Harcourt Road is inside Aba, not Aba Port Harcourt Road.
Okay.
There's a Port Harcourt Road in Aba.
Okay.
That takes you from inside town all the way to the expressway.
Okay.
Okay, so, and everybody is happy. Even the opposition is happy.
Okay. What are you doing as regards school?
Okay, you also talked about Government House.
Yeah, Government House, and the specialist hospital.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happened was that my predecessor commissioned an uncompleted building on the 28th of May.
Uncompleted building?
Uncompleted building on the 28th of May. I would also like you to see it. My people will take you to it. So, and it is supposed to be new Government House. So what did he do? He completed the ground floor, finished it very well, put Italian furniture. I don't like to talk about it, but since you asked,
no, yes.
Put Italian furniture in the place, painted it, and commissioned it. Okay, so the bedroom. So after the inauguration, I went there. When I looked at the ground floor, I was very happy. But as I went to the first and second floor, they were not even plastered. No sanitary fittings, nothing. So that's fraud.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you going to probe him for that?
I've not put one dime.
No, are you going to probe your predecessor for that?
You have only 4 years. And when you get into some of these distracting things, you lose focus. I have too much work to do. Probing him is there. Of course, we called in KPMG at some point, and I'm sure you must have seen that, where they looked at one of the accounts, and they found that some 10 billion naira was drawn for a non-existent airport. So that's the only one that we are saying, bring back our money or give us the airport.
But he says he's fixed the airport, that the airport is, that things are working with the airport.
Yeah, it's Audio Airport.
Audio Airport?
We've just flagged off the construction of the Abia Airport. Probing is a waste of my time.
But the question a lot of people ask is, if you have an airport in Owerri, why do you need another Abia airport? That's always the argument. Does it make financial? I mean, you're a financial expert.
It's a good argument.
Does it make financial sense?
It's a good argument. But the truth about it is that when you go elsewhere, you'll find that in a place like Texas, how many airports do you have?
But they have
even in Houston. They don't.
I mean, I was in Texas. I was in Dallas in in January. You have the Dallas Fort Worth Airport, which is about the second, third biggest airport in America. Then you have other airports around.
Yes, you have Houston, Hobby.
You have the economic activity to carry it. I just came in from DC. There was Dulles, there was Ronald Reagan, there was Baltimore, Maryland.
We are thinking for the future, but let me tell you.
But
let me tell you,
you don't have the funds.
No,
you don't.
let me tell you.
You're pressed for funds. You still have to borrow money. Why you building it?
The airport is not mine. It's a federal government project.
Okay.
Okay.
Who's funding it? Federal government?
Federal government. Okay. So let me explain how it happened.
Yeah.
So the federal government came up to say it wanted to build a few airports, I think 4 or 5. And Abia was one of them. Okay? And it was not going to be an airport, it was an airstrip that they planned. So I went and met the president. And I said, Mr. President, the difference between an airport and an airstrip is the wrong way. So if you are going to do an airstrip in Abia, can I partner with you and make it a full-fledged airport? And he said, oh, there's no problem with that. I should go and meet the Honorable Minister for Aviation, Festus Keyamo. And I went and met him, and he didn't have a problem with that. So, and we sat down. You bring your own money. We bring our counterpart for them.
How much are you putting into it?
I'm not sure yet. But our contribution is now the wrong way.
How much is the government, federal government, putting into this?
Not sure yet, too.
So, okay, so it's still in the ideation stage of the project.
No, we have planned off, but then a lot of work is still going on.
But the money you will put into it, where is it going to come from? You have to borrow, because the state does not have this, the financial capacity. I know you are in the private sector. You know how to raise capital.
Not just in the private sector.
Yeah, you know how to raise capital.
You are going into my territory.
Yes.
Just leave that area for me. It's my trade secret, money.
I know that you raise money.
Yeah,
safe to call you Ezego in banking, king of raising money in banking.
Yeah.
But it's going to put back a deadline on the states.
Don't worry about
and
that.
That's what we are scared of, because most states are not viably run.
Let me tell you something. I just saw the numbers from DMO that in 2023, they said we inherited a debt profile of 138 billion. But as at the end of last year, that we reduced it to 66 billion. We've not borrowed one time.
So how did you clear it? How did you not borrow when you were doing projects?
Secrets.
Tell us about it.
No, you have to consult me and pay me some money for me to tell you.
Shall I turn off the cameras for a bit?
No, you pay me first. Okay, so...
But the opposition keeps saying, you are borrowing. That that all of these things you are doing is a borrowing spree.
Did I borrow from them? If I borrowed from a bank, it will be clear. DMO will tell you.
But I would like to know the figures of the airports.
Let me also go back.
Yes.
And let you know that by the time we looked at the books and the numbers, we found that it was actually 192 billion that my predecessor handed over to me as debt.
How much did it leave for you in the coffers? How much did it leave as money on ground for you to run the states?
If you have money in the coffers, you wouldn't be owing. So
you can have money in the coffers and still owe.
No, if you net off what is left in the coffers, we had a debt profile of 192 billion.
So he left nothing?
Absolutely nothing.
He left nothing in the coffers?
Nothing. So when you say, you need to understand, I can leave 100 naira in one account, and I'm owing 100
so how much,
in another account.
How much is the money he left?
That's how it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because when you say how much did he leave, you are owing money and you are leaving money. Does it make sense?
It doesn't.
Okay, so what you do is you take the total assets and remove your liabilities, and you know what the net is. And I'm saying the net he left for us was 192 billion. So if
more than what the DMO quoted?
Yes, because DMO didn't include pension arrears, which we cleared off. They didn't include salary arrears, which we also paid. We didn't include all the parastatals that were being owed, including Oboneano Polytechnic and then the medical personnel. So those we have taken care of. And today, I can tell you the state is running very, very well. Don't bother yourself about where I'm going to find the money, because that's my own area.
So you talked about pension arrears. Part of the talking point the opposition said is they said you lied that you cleared the pension arrears. And they said you also repeated that lie by 2023, that you've not cleared any pension arrears. They said they employed some people into the state service before you came in, that you rooted most of them out. You pulled them out, and you said no, that these employments were not done properly. I mean, what do you have to say about all of these things?
Well, I have responded to them, but if you need me to respond, I will respond again. First of all, pension arrears, some of them were, we're talking of numbers of 45 to 56 months. People were not paid. So we sat down with the pensioners and we said, okay, you are being owed this much. We need to take them out. So the leadership of pensioners sat down with us for a very long period of time, and we agreed. And by Easter last year, we paid a total of about 10 billion to pensioners to clear all the arrears. So it was like you are going to pay in full and final settlement. Somebody's been owing you for 56 months. No chance that you may get it. But I said, I didn't need it. I need this money in your hands. So if you were here, or if you watched, you found that the pensioners organized a Thanksgiving service. A lot of them were very happy. But you know, the opposition, for now, is idle. And a lot of them are used, they don't have work. Okay, most of them. Those ones that are busy, moved on. There's something we call feeding bottle mentality. So that's what politics was about before my time in Abia. So when I came, and I said, that feeding bottle has to be taken away. So, and what does it mean? You receive federal allocation, and you share it. Oh, Rufai, 1 million. El Kanemi, 20 million. Stakeholder, 15 million. By the time you finish sharing, there's no money to work. And I said, no, people should go and find work. And that is the anger of the so-called opposition. But I have news for them. It will never reverse. Abia people are happy. Abia people are wise. So if they blackmail, you know, I was reading something, oh, people are saying they're coming to contest in 2027. That's fine, they're welcome. So if the blackmail is for me to reverse and then call them for negotiation or call them to be giving them money every month, it will not happen. They should find another work. So that's the essence of some of these. So pensions, taken off.
You've paid?
Now, there was an issue. The pensioners, the National Union of Pensioners in Abia State, they went and somehow agreed to be used by the opposition to come and deny the agreement they signed. And I said I will not discuss with them because it was a mark of dishonesty to sign an agreement and say you didn't sign. And then later you now said, oh, I signed under duress. But you agreed. But later, a respected man of God spoke about it in a church where distinguished Senator Chris Adigije I was hosting his 80th birthday. And I've had to bend over backwards. And I'm happy to sit down, not with them, but with their national body to discuss the, not pension this time, the gratuity. Because they said, oh, gratuity was also part of what was being owed. I said, okay, we can look at it. But originally, I wasn't going to discuss. So that's the issue about pension.
Okay, so that's why they're saying that you have not paid and all of that.
But everybody has been paid. And you know the interesting thing? By the 28th of every month, unfailingly, all pensioners get 100% of their pension.
Okay.
You made another point about people who were hired.
Yes.
Civil servants who were hired at the eve of the administration of my predecessor. Yes. Yes. I asked that they be disengaged.
Why did
for
you
good
do that?
reason.
Why?
Yeah. Now, every time you say civil service is overbloated, before my time, you placed an embargo on recruitment. You lost the election. And on the eve of your departure, you decided to hire so many people. By the time we looked at it, we found that a majority of them, I will shock you, you'll be shocked if I tell you the percentage, come from a particular local government.
Obiangwa?
That is very wrong. So, and I said, first of all, the embargo on employment has not been lifted. So the employment was irregular. It was a trap. And you can't set a trap for me, and I know that you set a trap, and I fall into it. So, and if you had not been on the payroll prior to the time we came into office, you need to leave and go and apply anytime the embargo was lifted. So that was wrong. And I'm sure if you were in my shoes, you would do the same.
But what about the people that make the argument, you know, there's unemployment in the land and all of that? And secondly, the case of the multi-purpose specialist hospital that they said, no, was abandoned. We need to stay part of their talking point. And afterwards, I want us to shift and now talk some national politics, you know. You want to respond to those arguments and say, you know,
Which one is national politics?
no, we have to talk national politics. There's no how you come here. Shall I start?
I don't talk politics.
You don't talk
I'm
politics?
not a politician.
Okay, you're not a politician, it's fine. But you know a certain individual called Abure.
Oh, yes, I know. Is it part of your national politics?
Oh, yes, national politics, National Labour Party politics.
Okay.
There's a contestation,
Okay, so
and they're mentioning your name. They said
really?
you are the dramatis personae. If you hear the
do I
likes
want
of
to be governor
Arabam,
and chairman at the
no,
same time?
if you hear the likes of Arabami and everything, they said no. You are the ones. You and your very good friend Peter Obi are the ones trying to take over the reins of the party, and the Abure faction said they're not having it from you, and they don't want to have it from you. But let's talk about the specialist hospital scenario first, and afterwards the argument people make as regards these people are poor, they finally got a job in government, and you said no. So can you talk about justice with mercy, and things like
No,
that?
that's why I said they should apply whenever the embargo is lifted. Is it not fair?
Okay.
Yeah, so
Noted.
if you were in my shoes,
Okay.
somebody sets a landmine for you, you want to go and fall into it.
Okay.
You have a huge, you are paying some 65,000 people. That's the population of civil servants in Abia. 65,000. And then somebody maybe puts a few more thousand for you. It wasn't in good faith. But it's gone. So at the appropriate time, and I'm sure that those of them who are forward-looking would have found something else to do. And of course, the interesting thing we are doing here is to create an enabling environment for businesses to thrive. Our people are very entrepreneurial. Okay, so quite unlike some of us who want to be given money. Majority of our people don't want to be given money. They want you to create the enabling environment for their businesses to thrive. And once you fix the roads, you clean the environment, you provide good schools for their children to go to, you have good hospitals they can go to. Don't care about government.
Specialist hospital.
Specialist hospital. Now, the specialist hospital was not abandoned. In fact, it's actually working. What we did was to convert it to a general hospital because it's in Aba. You have the Abia State University Teaching Hospital, which in itself functions as a specialist hospital, also in Aba. So you don't need to set up another specialist hospital in Aba. So what happened before my time is that the Abia State University Teaching Hospital lost accreditation in 2021. And the reason for that was that my predecessors abandoned the university. The Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria came back in 2022 and reaffirmed the loss of accreditation. So when we came up in 2023, I gave my people 6 months to fix that teaching hospital, get the necessary personnel, and ensure that the accreditation was restored. To the glory of God, in December 2023, in fact, it was dramatic when the registrar of the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria came here. He said by the time he got to the teaching hospital, he was almost missing his way. And he thought the driver was taking him somewhere else. And so the accreditation was restored in 2023. So everything that you require in the teaching hospital is there right now. So we felt that instead of maintaining, because that hospital was Aba General Hospital that was converted to
Specialist hospital.
the specialist hospital. We thought it was not necessary. With the Abia State University Teaching Hospital, just a few poles from it. So it wasn't a good decision in our judgment. So the general hospital is working very, very well, just like the other 21 general hospitals. But a lot of them are in different states of dilapidation. So we have taken about 7 of them in the first instance, fixing them, retrofitting them. By the time we are done with that, we will take another 7 and then the final 7. Having said that, we also do have a general hospital in Amachara, Omoahia, that we actually want to function with the diagnostic center as a specialist hospital. And of course, there is one in Omonato, in Bende. What's the idea? The idea is to have specialist hospitals in every senatorial zone of the state. So you have the one in Amachara covering the central, you have the one in Bende covering the north, and of course you have the Abia State University Teaching Hospital in Aba covering the Aba senatorial zone, the Abia South senatorial zone. So that's what we have done with that. So it's not any abandonment of any sort.
Okay, good. Now, national politics. Abure, what are you doing to that ban?
Okay, so I'm not doing anything to Abure. I have said it time and time. Abure worked very well with me, and as far as I'm concerned, he's still my friend. But I tell friends the truth. So it was in 2023. So he came to me to say that in the next year, a convention will be done. I said, okay, that's fine. 2024, he came and said he wanted to do the convention in Omoahia. I was happy. But later, he said, oh, that he wants to move it to Oka. I asked why. He said, oh, there are a lot of people, you know some stories. I said, okay, that's fine. Then later he came again to say it should be Newi. I asked the question. I said, who will be the delegates for this convention? Because if my understanding of how political parties are organized is correct, you organize congresses at the lowest levels and then get all the way to national convention. So you have the world congresses, you have the local government congresses, you have the state congresses, the zonal congresses, the southeast, south, and then now delegates from there will now go for national convention. He said, oh no, that they have a different way of doing it in the Labour Party. I said, okay, so I supported them. They went for the convention. And thereafter, a lot of issues started coming up. Then I now realized that INEC had removed his name as the national chairman of the party, and I called his attention to it. So he said, oh, maybe it's a mistake. I said, okay. So I made my inquiries with INEC, and they said his tenure had expired. And I called him, and I said, this is what I find from INEC, that your tenure has expired. He said, it's not true. Now he went for a meeting that he was not invited, a meeting of all the political parties. He was not allowed in. I'm sure you must have seen it in the media. I called him. I said, this is not good. What is the issue? So my inquiry said that he had an agreement with NLC and TUC. In 2022, it was a consent judgment where he said that he will organize an all-inclusive convention starting from congresses the next year being 2023. In 2023, that he also sat with them and said, we just finished a presidential election. Our presidential candidate is in court. Can we take one more year before this convention? They are all agreed. Now, this information came from INEC, not from him. So I called him again, and I said, this is what I got from INEC. He said he would give me a file. So he sent me a file. Maybe he didn't think I would read the file. I read. So I read everything in the file. And I called him. I said, Mr. Abure, the file you gave me agrees with what INEC said. So, in that case, this convention you did in Newi that I was not comfortable with has not been recognized by INEC. Did INEC come? He said they did come. I said, then you can have a convention So let's do it right so that our party doesn't get deregistered. This is the party that brought me to power. So, and I said, you know what? As we speak, and even as we speak now, I don't have a candidate for national chairman. If I'm asked to produce a national chairman, I'll still produce you. You've done one term. Why don't you, let's do it well. Present yourself again, if you want to. But I have a problem. If I've spoken to 10 people in this party, 9 people don't want you, that means there's something wrong. Why do you want to lead people who don't want you to lead them? You know what? If you want to be the BOT chairman, I can speak to the leaders of the party. I'm not the only leader. P2B is there, the vice presidential, that is there. I can speak to them so that we can give you the BOT chairman of the party. He said, okay, he will meet with his National Working Committee. That was the last meeting we had, and that was 2024. The next thing they went to court, and the rest is now history. Now, Supreme Court have delivered judgment de-recognizing him. And it will be interesting for you to read the Supreme Court judgment, and I'll send it to you. At least, even if you don't have time to read the 48-page document, read from page 46 to the last. You see that Supreme Court said that both the Federal High Court and the Court of Appeal were wrong to recognize him as the chairman of the party, and reversed that judgment and said that the appeal stands. Now, who was the appellant? Senator Esther Nenadi Osman and Senator Darlington Wukoja, the chairman and secretary of the caretaker committee. So that's where we are. So I don't have any problem with Abu. Supreme Court has said, you are no longer chairman. And the man is saying he is still the chairman.
But
something must be wrong.
So, but this conundrum, a lot of people have said, can lead to the destruction of your party. Some people argue that your party is gone. With all of this, are you planning on decamping at some point? Because as Delta just left, other governors are leaving. Governor Fubara, suspended Governor Fubara, went to have a meeting with President Tinubu. And it looks like your party is on shaky ground. And like, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, former governor of Delta, did say today, said they want to be close to the center. Your state is one leg in the center. The speaker, the deputy speaker of the House of Reps, happens to be from your state. So that's a great privilege. And he too has been saying that we are going to, consolidate on the state and push you. So is it not just time for you to align with the APC, or are you going to do it anytime soon?
Okay, so I take your advice.
So you are decamping.
So
we can say it's exclusive that Governor Oti is making the move to the APC.
Governor Oti is not decamping. And
why?
My party is not on shaky ground.
Why?
Well, I've told you this.
The argument some other politicians make is
they
say lone man. You want to be close to the center.
Don't worry. I'm being close to the center. I'm even closer to the center than some of them.
But you're not in APC. You can't be as closer than Delta.
Everybody must not be in APC. This is democracy. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu held on to his AD, AC, ACN before becoming APC. If he was, then he wouldn't be president today. Sometimes you have to also stand for something.
Will you ever leave Labour?
I am not God.
So you might leave.
I cannot say if there's no Labour tomorrow. So you have already predicted for the
So
party.
you might leave. That's what I say. You say you are not God.
Elsewhere before,
because some people swore that they were never going to leave APGA, but they left APGA.
Who did?
I mean, people move around political parties a lot.
Of course.
So are you going to say you are never going to leave Labour?
I was in PDP.
Okay.
And then from PDP, I went to APGA.
So you've been moving around a lot.
APGA, I went to APC. I went in APC.
So you've moved around a lot.
So
that means you might just
not the issue.
You might just continue in that line.
Not the issue.
You might go back home.
That is not the issue. The issue is that the party that brought me to power is Labour. Okay? And today we have fought and retrieved Labour. So, and I said I will send you the Supreme Court judgment. So when you finish reading it, you will know that Abure is just masturbating.
Really?
Yes, he's not. He's out. So you can declare yourself You can declare yourself the president of Nigeria today. You can.
That means...
does that mean Rufai is now the president?
No, but that means his masturbations are of epic proportion because his masturbations are causing gyrations in the Labour Party as we speak.
Okay, you need to mind your language now.
No, it's because everybody looks at it that all is not well,
you see
and they are also governors, sir, they are also pointing at opposition dismembering political parties, like it's happening with the APC, with the PDP now, and they're also looking like as the Labour Party. So that's why you can call it masturbations, but these gyrations are getting into the fabric of the foundation of the party, and a lot of people are arguing that would there even be Labour Party in 2027?
Okay, so they are not God. You are just what you are, just your human intelligence and analysis.
Just like I'm not God to know if you are still going to leave Labour Party at some point.
Exactly, and I'm not God to also say that I will remain in Labour Party or leave Labour Party.
Okay.
But as we speak, the objective conditions today do not make it for me to leave Labour Party. There is tomorrow anything can change, and I've told you.
Okay.
And I'm very pragmatic, and I look at things, and of course, if I'm going to take any decision, that decision is going to be taken in full consultation with Abia people. Those are the people who are...
Oh, that's the word you politicians say. You always say you do it for the people.
No.
It's your decision.
I told you I wasn't a politician. Maybe you are the one that's a politician now. We are not politicking. No, we must, because the truth about it is that it's Abia people, through God, that brought me here. So there's nobody is more important than Abia people and God. So, and wherever God wants me to be, but it must be a right move. So it will not be by blackmail. It will not be because other people are... So you see people are jumping into the lagoon, you jump. Or you see people trying to face the trailer, you face the trailer. No, you must take your decision based on objective conditions. And it's not, I'm not going to. So all the people that you mentioned is okay. I'm sure there are clear arguments that they have. And I always find it difficult to discuss people because when you are not in their condition, you are not in their situation. So there are things they may know that you do not know. But as we speak today, we have retrieved the Labour Party. The National Caretaker Committee is in charge now, and they will organize congresses, ward, local government, like I told you, all the way to national convention, so that we get leadership.
When are those congresses going to happen?
Before the end of the year. They already have a timetable.
Okay. I'd like to ask you this. Has President Tinubu done well economically?
Okay, so this is one question I may not be able to answer. Why?
Why?
Because I have access to him. So I can always discuss with him. So it would be unfair for me to come in front of the cameras and be assessing him. And today is just 23 months into the administration. It's still early days.
Did you call President Tinubu and told him it was unfair when he declared a state of emergency in Rivers?
No, I don't. You are also going to an area that I said I will not discuss. And that area is, I won't discuss.
But it's not fair.
I won't discuss.
Okay.
Listen so that you hear me. I won't discuss people. I won't discuss other states. I won't discuss the federal government.
But when you look at it, a lot of the PDP governors filed a case against the state of emergency, which was to defend integrity. Because you see, you say you won't discuss people, but let me put it in a principal context for you. As you are seated here with the gyrations from the opposition you are facing, if somebody says the solution is declaring a state of emergency in your state, cause 1 or 2 skirmishes, and suspend you, you will say that's an aberration, isn't it? So what happens in Rivers? So what happened in Rivers?
It's possible because it has happened somewhere else.
So what happened in Rivers is an aberration, right?
It can happen.
No, what happened in Rivers? Is there an aberration?
Let me tell you one thing. I was watching the Speaker of the House of Representatives in the U.S. when he was talking about Trump. I don't know if you saw that video.
Yeah.
And I looked at it, I said, okay, so this is a Republican that was on the same ballot with Trump. So, and he's saying it's an aberration, what Trump signed. He said we can, natural gas, we can't even export. Wait, so aberrations do happen. What is important is how you respond to it. And your response to it, I have my private opinion, which I have shared.
What's your opinion about it?
No, it's private to me. I will share it with you. But it will be impolitic for me. In fact, I mean, completely mess up the situation if I made some comments that I shouldn't make. So I can go to the president to say, this is my opinion about it.
No, but
I don't need to come to you and say this is my opinion.
With due respect, Governor, I was talking to Governor Dowd a couple of weeks ago, and I asked him this question, and I said, do you condemn the state of emergency in Rivers? I know his answer, but I'm asking you now, do you condemn the state of emergency in Rivers? He told me, I condemn it, and that's why we're going to court. So I'm asking you.
So he has gone to court. The matter is now sub judice.
So I'm asking.
So why are you asking me?
No, I'm asking you.
No.
You were not joined in the case, so
Yes,
this is a
but
different
I'm in
one.
Nigeria.
No, this is a different one.
So the matter is in court.
So
it will be decided by the
So
court.
I'm asking you, do you condemn the state of emergency that happened in Rivers?
Did you read anything from me condemning it?
No, I'm asking you.
No, I have not.
So you don't want to share public opinion about it?
But as a body, we as Governors Forum are looking at it.
What do you mean we? I'm asking you for your own personal opinion,
My own opinion,
Governor Oseni.
my own opinion is my opinion. You cannot force it out of me.
Okay, I concede. But generally speaking, at a democracy like this, people look and say, state of emergencies. Is it a good one?
You are still going back to the same thing.
No, I'm asking you. Is it a good one, yes or no?
Privately speaking,
yes.
I've made my opinion, I've put my opinion together, and my colleagues know my position. I have not seen the president. When I see the president, I will also share. I see the president from time to time, and I share my opinion.
So you will just you give us a global response, and you will share your private opinion with the president.
My private opinion is what is most important.
Do you also share that private opinion when you see an uptick in inflation despite, I mean, I was just at the IMF spring meetings and the numbers were not good. An uptick in inflation despite rebasing. The fact that we rebased, the inflation calculation parameters.
Yes.
And there's an uptick again, 24%. The numbers are gloomy. They're saying over a couple of years, inflation might go up 37%. And you guys sit in the economic meeting with the president. Do you ever get to tell him and say, Mr. President, we're sinking, we're going under?
Did you start sinking today? It did start sinking today.
So,
you have been sinking.
So is it not worth telling him?
In denial.
So is it not worth telling him?
No. I mean, when we go for meetings.
Oh, living in denial. So you support the subsidy removal, right?
Of course.
You support the flotation of the naira.
Subsidy removal was long overdue. And what was happening? What was happening is that big men like you and I, we are the ones.
Your Excellency, I'm not a big man.
You're a big man. You live in VI. For you to live in VI, you're a big man.
So,
in fact, I'm even afraid of you. When I heard that you live in VI, in Lagos, I used to stay in Lekki. I couldn't afford VI.
At least you own I don't own a home in VI.
Well, we have to find out whether you own. Even being a tenant, to have mind to be a tenant in VI, that means that you are not a big man.
I'm a tenant, Your Excellency.
No, but the point is this.
Yes.
There are a lot of things that we should have done. My interventions in this day.
I've
written extensively about this subsidy. So it was a scam. We just needed to do something.
Also floating the naira?
Sorry?
Also floating the naira too?
Floating the naira, I've also written about it. But you see, I think what happened was that the two things happened about the same time.
Which was not a good one.
But then, over time, I believe that this economy, if we keep at it, the economy would rebound. Now, are you surprised that inflation at 24%? What's the interest rate?
Well, it's super high. Going up to 30% of businesses.
It goes with interest rate. So it will keep chasing you no matter how much you rebase. So that's what it is.
But the
it's not
hardship on people, the fact that their
unfortunate.
naira is not worth
It's
anything
very
again,
unfortunate.
and you feel that in your state. Do you tell that to the
No,
president sometimes?
it's very unfortunate.
But see,
some of the sacrifices must be made. If you don't make them today, you will make them tomorrow. Or the economy will go up in flames.
But Mr. Governor, saying it's very unfortunate does not put food on the table of a hungry person. And people will die of hunger, and people are dying.
And saying it is fortunate will also not put food on the table. So you need to do something about it. We're just talking. We need to do something about it.
So what are you doing about it?
One of the things that we are doing is to ensure that we create an environment where productivity will happen. Part of the problem with the exchange rate is because we are not producing much. It's because we are not exporting anything other than oil. It's because we are importing everything from the profane to the profound. We import toothpicks. We import bottled water. Should we be doing that? So that puts a lot of pressure on the foreign exchange market. And until we reverse that, until we produce, do you know how much we spend importing food? Palm oil that Malaysians took from here in Umuahia. We are now buying from them. So these are things that need to be done.
So what are you doing as regards agriculture? If they took the palm oil out from Umuahia, and you are saying Malaysians are bringing it, but I thought you would have jumpstart the palm oil, palm kernel revolution
we
again.
are doing
so
that.
how many tonnage are you producing now?
It's still
under
early
your government?
days.
Early days?
It's still early days.
But people are hungry.
Oh yeah, you have to. We are. I say so. If you are asking how many tonnage, it's early days because we just came.
Okay.
In Okwa, we have a multinational company that is partnering with us to remove the old trees and replant them. In rubber, in cocoa, we are in rice. In fact, today we are producing rice in Owerenta. So, but it's still early days. So it's not time to blow the trumpet because we need quite a lot of time.
Governor Otmi, make me understand this. Your IGR in a month is, and your federal allocation in a month is how much? Small amount. But you're doing so many things. You want to build an airport, counterpart funding, you're producing this, you're producing that, you're clearing the debt. I mean, how are you doing it? You said it's a trade secret earlier on, but people would like to know this trade secret. Maybe other governors can use it. I mean, because...
No, okay, so the first thing is prudence.
Okay.
Prudence. Okay, so one of the easiest things for me to do would have been to start building a new government house. It's not like it's very comfortable. But I know that if I use the money to put into dealing with maybe the road in Umuahia, I will empower a whole lot of people who ordinarily didn't have access. So you have prudence, then you have economies of scale. What is most important? I need to sit down. As a student of economics, I have my priorities listed. So, and I know that if the man in Ariara market cannot get to the market, he cannot add to my GDP. So, he cannot add to my internally generated revenue. I know that if the woman in Bende cannot access her farm, then she's not going to be useful, not to her family or to the government. I know that if I am sick and I cannot get attention from the primary health care center, then I will be useless to the economy. And that's why when we came, we looked at the 948 primary health care centers in Abia. We went around. All of them were in a mess. And we said, okay, we'll put some 8-9 billion in the budget for renovating 200 primary health care centers in 100 days. That is happening now. By next month, it will be 100 days, and 200 primary health centers will be delivered. We will take another 200 after this one, until we get the 948. We looked at the schools. We found that a lot of our children no longer want to go to school. You see them early in the morning hawking banana and granite, kara and all that. So I was embarrassed because I grew up here. And my parents were not rich, but I went to school. And I knew that if these children would not go to school, then they wouldn't have the opportunity that I had. And I said, okay. I wasn't even too sure what the problem was, whether it was the school fees or they just didn't want to, they wanted to make money. So and I set up a task force. I said, first of all, I said, let's know how much do we make from school fees. Go back to 2023. Go back to 2022. The numbers were almost the same. And it was nothing. I said, if I take away the school fees, would it be an incentive for these children to go back to school? I'm not sure. I said, okay, I'll take away the school fees, but I'll set up a task force to force those.
So, Abia has some free education now?
Of course. I said, I will force those that don't want to go to school. Do you know what happened? I set up the task force. And I made an announcement. I said, anybody that will see of school age that was not in school, we are going to arrest him. Not because we wanted to keep him. We want the parents to come so that we can exchange them with their parents. We've not got one person. In fact, the task force that we set up is now going around to ensure compliance, that there is no school where school fees are charged and that teachers are teaching. So I looked at the explosion when the announcement was made in terms of enrollment. It was so much. And we found that we didn't have teachers. And what did we do? We now said, okay, you know what? There are a lot of people. We are talking of civil servants and all that. I said, a lot of people don't have jobs. If you are qualified, we opened up a portal. Please apply. We went to hire 5,000 teachers. And in 1 week, we got 17,000 applications. The second week, it climbed to 30-something thousand. And we shut the portal. We now tested them, and today, 4,600 have been hired. We want to take another 4,000 so that we can fit them into those schools. We are renovating all the schools. Okay? So that's what it is. It's not rocket science. So it's just about being prudent, being deliberate, having a plan.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? And keep it to it. Of course, there's another part of it that's very, very important. The people that you are working with. I don't care where you come from. I'm sure you may have heard that my head of service is from Edo State. I sit down and interview them. And when I interviewed them, and I found he was number one. I said, go ahead and
Okay, so what's the primary school enrollment rate now, uptake, since this new scheme started in Abia?
I don't even, it's been crazy. I don't even, I've lost count of the numbers. People are just streaming. Again, what I also found is that a lot of people are leaving the private schools to come to public schools. Because, of course, you have the good quality, you have good teachers, we are renovating the place. And I called the commissioner for education, and I said, we need to now think of what to do to the very serious private school operators. Because we also don't want them to be, they also contribute to the economy. How are we going to maybe support the students? So these are some of the things. And then in terms of healthcare, I mean, that's before the end of the month of May, we believe that the president will come to commission that Port Harcourt road that we will soon see. But there's something else we are doing with healthcare. As soon as we came in, as part of our manifesto, we had promised that we would reverse medical tourism from India. You know the number. Over $2 billion every year.
Yeah.
So we said we've set up a medical village. And we've been working on it for almost 2 years now. And to the glory of God, by about the 23rd of May, we are going to...
How much did that cost you?
Okay, so it's not going to cost me any money. It's going to cost $1.3 billion. The money is coming from elsewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, and our partners are bringing the money. They will build, they will manage, they will operate.
And transfer. Who are your partners?
MKP Global.
Okay.
And they done something like that in Singapore.
Okay. So where's it going to be located?
Sorry?
Where's it going to be located?
It's going to be located in Abia.
Abia.
You passed the site as you were coming from the airport.
So 23rd of May is going to be the groundbreaking?
Yeah.
Of it.
Would you come?
Okay, I mean, I'll take the chance if I'm around. I mean, as we wrap up, let's talk about the legacy of Dr. Pascal Dozier. Because I know
The legacy of
Dr. Pascal Dozier.
Oh, okay.
Because this was somebody dear to you, and he's going to start his journey home very soon, and he passed at the ripe age of 85.
Yes. Well, I'd done my condolence, and I'd also spoken to the first son who succeeded me in Diamond Bank. He was a good man. He actually did it best. Unfortunately, which I think is the reason why he departed this quickly. His major strength was Auntie Chi, the wife, who is also sick. In fact, the last time I saw him, he was lamenting how Auntie does not even recognize anybody who cannot offer help. So I believe that that was part of why he left. But he did his best. He was part of the people that set up MTN. He was the pioneer chairman of MTN. And of course, Diamond Bank and a whole lot of other businesses that he set up. We thank God for his life. At 85, we would have loved that he would stay longer, but he tried. Just like the Pope, so that was that 88, another good man. And unfortunately, another very good man that passed on last night that has not been announced. But that one was hit me personally because supporting Anaba brought up of course. He was also very close to Pascal. So the burial arrangements are already being put together, and we'll be here to ensure that we give him a befitting burial in England. I believe that should be in a few days from now.
If there's one word in your mind for the people of your state and you can speak to them now, what would that be?
Well, when we came, we knew our people were struggling. They were weeping. And our mantra was, weep no more, help is on the way. Exactly 23 months after, because today is the 29th of April, 2025, I think help has come. And I believe that they should keep up with the positive disposition. The 23 months out of 48 is less than 50%. So there's still a whole lot that we have in stock to do. And by the grace of God, we are going to deliver on every promise we made them. Like you said, the opposition keeps making noise, but that is what they should do. Sometimes we also read and hear what they say. Anyone that makes sense, we put it on board. Nobody has a monopoly of knowledge. But of course, if it is based on criticism for criticism's sake, if it is based on promoting alternative agenda, if it is based on fiction, not facts, we don't pay attention. So the state is in the right hands. The state is moving in the right direction. We also appreciate that they are very happy with where we are now. So they should remain focused. No one should listen to stories because you can feel it yourself. So, and I also like to thank you for finding time
Thank you.
to be with us in Abia here. And we hope come again and again and again.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's about all we can take with the governor of Abia State, Governor Alex Otti. It's been a very interesting conversation. He's touched on many areas, responses to words said about him and criticisms about him. Also, we talked some national politics, Labour Party politics, and ended with giving, a befitting tribute to Dr. Pascal. That's about all we can take today. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. Thank you.